A trauma response refers to the psychological, emotional, and physical reactions that individuals may exhibit in the aftermath of a traumatic experience. These responses can vary widely and may include heightened anxiety, flashbacks, avoidance, disassociation, or changes in mood and behavior. Trauma responses are complex and can impact a person's overall well being, often requiring support and coping mechanisms for healing. Hello, my name is Remy, and I am an unburdening and identity restoration specialist based in the United Kingdom. So, as you can tell from my introduction today, I'm going to be talking about trauma responses and the things that can actually cause us to respond in a traumatic way instead of in a healthy way. Now, you must understand that traumatic responses can come in physical, cognitive, or emotional reactions. And today I'm going to be giving you two case studies to just really help us to give us a visual of what I'm talking about so that you can be able to relate better to what I'm talking about. So I've got my notes here on the left hand side. So if you see me looking, just understand that this is what I'm doing. So let's look at the first case study. So a lady has experienced a traumatic event where she was a victim of a violent crime. So it could be that they had a robbery in her home where she witnessed someone being shot or she witnessed somebody being raped. It could be anything, but it was a violent crime that happened in her presence. In the aftermath of this, you'll find that it's possible that this lady is responding in an emotional way, a cognitive way, and also a physical way. So let's look at one way through which she can respond emotionally. So she could display heightened anxiety, frequent panic attacks, and intense feelings of fear and vulnerability. You'll find that it's possible that you're struggling with mood swings, and intense sadness and irritability. So it's possible that one moment this lady is very sad and in the next moment she's irritated. So it's possible that this happens because these are her emotional responses to life around her after this violent crime that she witnessed. Let's look at the cognitive responses. It's possible that she now, struggles to concentrate, to focus at work. She's having this thought just coming. So it could be that she's just thinking, what if we're boggled right now? And she's just looking at the window. She's looking at things like that. And she's thinking, oh, this was what happened then. It's possible that somebody is there trying to do something. She'll find herself often replaying this incident in her mind. Now, this is a cognitive response to that traumatic event that she experienced. Let's look at physical responses. Her body reacts with heightened arousal, including an increased heart rate. So you find that there's a lot of intense heart palpitation. So maybe the door just slams quickly. There's that panic attack of, and our heart is racing so quickly because every little thing causes a scare in her life. You might experience muscle tension, hypervigilance. So everything, she's walking on the road and she's just hearing footsteps. You find this lady looking back. Now, these are common examples, but it's also crucial to remember that everyone's experience is unique. Like I just explained here, these are traumatic experiences, responses that this lady is giving to the experience or the thing that she went through. And this is why it's important that if you find that you can relate to any of this, you're struggling. It could be a violent crime. It could be that this lady was raped. It could be anything at all. If you find yourself constantly reacting, okay, in any of these ways, it rings a bell, it sounds too close to home, I'll normally advise that you get professional help, because we've seen situations where even family and friends are very good, but because they don't know what you're going through, they're unable to help. So please, 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 if you can relate to this, please get help. Now let's look at another case study. And in this case study, we're going to be looking at a romantic relationship, because I think this is one thing that is so common and often so neglected. So let's give a case study that a lady was in an emotionally abusive relationship, and where her partner was constantly belittling her, controlling various aspects of her life for so long. So now she's developed the boldness to leave this relationship. This person was always calling her names. This person was always seeing or looking for reasons why she wasn't good enough. Verbal abuse and all of these things were going on in this relationship. Now, this lady has left this relationship. It's possible that she didn't get any professional help. What are some of the things that we can find that she's going through emotionally? It's possible that you begin to experience intense feelings of self doubt and low self worth because she's heard these things so much. She now begins to believe these things. And when people, maybe she calls someone, they don't call her back, she begins to believe that this is why this is happening. You'll find that this lady will struggle with trust issues, fears of vulnerability in future relationships. She's looking at a man that is asking her out and she's thinking, he's too good for me. I don't think I'm good enough. And now it's possible that she even goes into a relationship and then she begins to belittle herself even without the person belittling her. Another emotional response is she might now even go into this relationship where this person is not emotionally abusing her but is financially abusing her, but because it's not what she's used to, she thinks it's not abuse. In this kind of situation as well, it's possible that a lady, for example, just left a physical abusive relationship. So it's possible that the relationship wasn't an emotionally abusive one, it could be a physical relationship. But if you don't deal with it, it's possible that you now go into another relationship where now it's emotional abuse. But because he's not physically hitting you, you're thinking it's okay. As long as he calls me, he's not hitting me, it's okay. You must understand that abuse is abuse and no form of abuse should be excused. Now, let's look at cognitive responses. You will find that this lady is dealing with negative thought patterns. You're constantly questioning your own judgment. You don't believe that you have the ability to make the right choice. And this could be because you've seen how badly you have chosen your romantic relationships, your partners. You've seen how you've been treated in such an unpleasant way, and you don't even believe you have the ability to choose right. Let's look at some physical responses. It's possible that your body begins to react with heightened stress levels, tension, headaches, you're not sleeping because, especially if it's been abused, physical, emotional, you're sleeping and then something just comes to mind and then you wake up just out of fear of just tension and you're constantly having headaches. There's something that we call tension headaches, which is literally happening here. So it's not to the left or to the right, but you find it intensely happening here, and your heart is constantly beating at such a fast rate. You're really struggling. This is your body telling you that there's a lot of tension going on, there's a lot of stress levels, and you need to look into it because if you don't, it's possible that you slowly move into what we might call depression. Now, one question I often get is, Remy, can you give me an example of emotional abuse or financial abuse? Because I find that a lot of times people are only familiar with physical abuse. And I'm going to be giving you some examples that I've written down here of financial and emotional abuse, okay? Now, let's give an example of emotional abuse: constant criticism, receiving unwanted, harsh, or demeaning comments about your appearance, about your abilities, and your choices from your partner. So, this person is always saying, why are you wearing that? Oh, can't you see that that shoe doesn't look good on you? You say something, and they are always questioning. So, you are in this relationship where it looks like you're being managed. Nothing you do is ever good enough. Number two, isolation. Your abuser may deliberately isolate you from friends, family, and things you particularly enjoy. So he's not hitting you, but he's not giving you the ability or the freedom to really enjoy your relationships. This is emotional abuse. Manipulation, using tactics to control or influence your thoughts, feelings, or actions, often making you doubt your own perceptions. Now, do you find that you're constantly being manipulated? You're saying This is what I think I need to do. And then they're turning it. And then you find yourself always doing what your partner wants to do, and you never do that thing that you want to pursue. You want to get your head on. They're always saying, oh, why are you wasting money? Don't you know that you're better at it at yourself? Yes, you might be good at it, but you really just love the idea of being pampered. But you find that at the end of the day, they always question everything you do, never allowing you to really truly live through your own intentions. Number four, gaslighting. And we all know this, which is denying or distorting reality to make you question your sanity or memory. So you've said, oh, babe, I don't like the way you do this. And then they make it look like, oh, no, it's not me doing it. I just think it's the way you tend to look at things. And because you hear this often, you begin to go quiet because you find that it's always me, it's never him. So I think it's better I keep quiet. So whenever you know that something is obviously wrong, you begin to question it because you've been gaslighted so much, abused emotionally, and now you're believing that your thoughts don't even make sense. Let's look at withholding affection, intentionally refusing to show love, support, or affection as a form of punishment or control. This happens in relationships, okay? You find your partner saying because they know they're upset with you, they don't buy you flowers anymore, they don't take you out, they think they're punishing you. I'm not going to use sex because as a believer, you shouldn't be having premarital sex anyways. So the only time I'm going to talk about this is if you're in a marriage and then your partner is denying sexual intercourse because they're using it as a form of punishment. But if we're talking about relationships, we shouldn't be bringing in sex because you shouldn't be having sex before marriage. But if you find that your partner is using withholding affection from you as a form of punishment, this is emotional abuse. Intimidation, creating an environment of fear through threats, gestures, or aggressive behavior. I'll slap you. Are you mad? All of these things are emotional abuse. You don't have to wait until he slaps you. When he begins to show those flags, these are signs that you need to look out for. Blame shifting is the seventh and final one I'm going to be talking about today in terms of emotional abuse. Always placing blame on you, even for things beyond your control. So the window in the house that was flawed and something came in. How could you allow the flood to come in? Are you stupid? What, just always using very foul language towards you. These are very red flags. And I will always say to a lady, if you notice these things, please, please, please don't jump into the marriage. A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. Let's quickly look into some financial forms of abuse. Number one, controlling access to your money, limiting access to your bank accounts, credit cards, cash, making you financially dependent. It's your money. But he says, I'm saving it for you, I'm teaching you, and then doesn't even allow you buy things for yourself. It's different if this person gives you access but is trying to teach you financial literacy. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who stops you blatantly from spending and doing things for yourself. But when it's time to do things for themselves, it's a good idea. Number two, forbidding work or education, preventing you from working or pursuing education to maintain control over your financial independence. When you want to go to school, they're saying to you, why are you going to school? You're a woman. Of what use is it? You're going to be raising children. Oftentimes, this person also has narcissistic tendencies because they don't want you to be better than them. They are stopping you from spending your money on things that you know that you need to do. And oftentimes, the Lord has said, I want you to further and do this, but this man is an obstruction to you fulfilling purpose and destiny. Don't do it. Number three, monitoring your spending, scrutinizing and restricting your spending, often on basic necessities to maintain dominance. You always have to go to him to buy a bra. You need to buy panties. You need to shave your eyebrows. You always have to go to him. This man doesn't give you the ability or the freedom to spend your money on things as basic as buying your underwear. Do I really need to tell you that's a red flag? Stealing or misusing funds, taking money from your accounts without permission, using your cards for personal gain. Yes, I understand that you are in a relationship where you love one another, but we must respect one another. Okay. One thing, for example, my husband and I do is regardless of how much we have access to our accounts, we don't touch each other's money without expressly asking. Don't get familiar. Don't get familiar to the point where you don't respect each other's privacy because, well, I think he won't complain, she won't complain. No. Ensure that you pay attention to this. Using debt as a tool, which is the last point I'm going to be giving with financial abuse, accumulating debt in your name and then holding it against you, creating a sense of obligation or control. You know, when they give the excuse of, oh, you're doing it for the family, you're accumulating debt, and then this person is not even doing anything to help you get out of it. But instead, they always make it look like it's your fault. Well, you made the choice. I didn't force you to do it. And then you begin to see yourself as a fool. Now, the whole essence of this video is to help us understand that if you have gone through any form of abuse, be it emotional, okay, be it physical, be it financial, whatever form of abuse, if you don't deal with it, it is very possible that you begin to give traumatic responses to everything that happens in and around your life. And this can be very detrimental to your mental health and even to you enjoying life overall. Now, it's possible that you're even seeing a therapist, but it's important that you get to the point where you begin to trust your family and friends, especially those of you who have good people. They cannot read your mind. Sometimes, if you don't let them in, they don't know how to help you. Because, for example, if you're a woman who has come out of a physically abusive relationship and is now in an emotional abusive relationship, you will struggle to come out. You need force to help you detach from this person. And this is why we all need a support system. Like I said, if this rings a bell, if anyone around you sounds like this person, please encourage them to get help. Let's not keep quiet. Let's activate and cultivate a culture of helping one another to actually live a mentally healthy life. When your mind is good, you'll act right. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you at my next one. Bye bye.